one of you to day 2 of the 47th Annual Conference 2025 AGM and dinner of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. I want to believe that yesterday we had a lot of fun, both technically and then informally at the dinner ceremony. Yesterday's event was a wonderful one. It was the first day, and I'm very sure every one of us registered and in our registration book. We did a lot of networking yesterday. And of course, we had the opening remarks, the welcome address from the president, and we have very inciting sessions, panel sessions yesterday after listening and having the keynote address that was presented by Dr. Abba Abubakar Aliyu, Fellow of the Energy Institute. We equally had the first panel session was centered on strengthening local content amidst global shift, which was chaired by the president of Koren, represented by Engineer Kashim Abdul Ali, FNSE, and the panelists, very wonderful one. We had the second panel session centered on driving sustainable energy future through strategic partnership with consulting engineers. And you must agree with me that the third and last session for yesterday was a very engaging one, especially as it was led and chaired by our past president, Engineer Bayo Adeola, FNSE, FA-Eng, on strategic roles of consulting engineers in national development. We had the dinner, and I want to believe that the meal was good. We can all attest to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be even more wonderful because we are coming in with the energy of yesterday. We are well rested through the night, and this morning with a lot of energy also, we shall be taking a panel session on opportunities for competitive growth of local engineering firms. And the session will be chaired again by our very amiable and distinguished past president, Engineer Adeola K.A. FNSE FA-Eng, and our other panel discussants will follow. It will be a very engaging one. Then also today we shall be looking at a presentation on EcoPace. EcoPace is engineering consultancy and project management services agreement, charges and conditions of engagement. One topic and one part of our engineering that we are more concerned about, especially as it has to do with the business of engineering, selling our services and getting remunerated. So it shall be presented today. So I want us to prepare our questions. Keep all your questions. Just start putting them down so that you will just be hitting the nail on the board when it comes, and you equally help in that document. And we will be recognizing our sponsors and partners equally at today's event. And then we shall have the Aken Future Leader Forum, the global impact of modern day infrastructure and a reflection about the current situation in Nigeria. Then we will close the technical sessions, and then the annual general meeting will be opened. The first Aken Endowment Foundation AGM, then we'll have lunch, and then continue to the annual general meeting of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a very wonderful day, and I want to believe that we have been enjoying ourselves and having a lot of fun. So before we begin the activities of today, quickly take a few recognitions as we are seated so that by the time we are starting, we just go straight into our technical talks and discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to put our hands together as we welcome to today's sessions the Vice President of ACEN. Please put your hands together for Engineer Kunle Adebajo. Bajo. Bajo. Yes, I got it. Thank you. He's a chartered engineer and a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Structural Engineers, our incoming president. Thank you very much. We have also here present our honorary treasurer, Engineer Bolarinwa James Olowe, FNSC. A round of applause for him. Thank you very much. You are welcome. And we have our dignified, I don't know, since I know him, he always wears a smile. And that is one thing I cherish a lot. And I equally always try to wear a smile. No matter the situation, no matter the condition, he wears a smile. When I call his name and you look at his face, you will see him wearing a smile as well. Please let us make welcome and put our hands together for our past president, Engineer K.A. Adeola, FNSC, FAA. Round of applause. Is he not smiling? Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst a past vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, past registrar of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, also a past executive secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Let us make welcome Engineer Dr. Felix Atumi, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow of the Academy of Engineering, member of the National Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who has put us together and ensured that we are well fed, well taken care of, and all our proceedings and processes have been planned and going smoothly. Even as we recognize him, you will see him in action doing his work. Let us put our hands together for the chairman of the 2025 Conference AGM Planning Committee, Engineer Dr. Sam Otenaike, FNSC. A round of applause for him. A round of applause for him. Thank you. And just arriving, I struggled to recognize him because the president of ACEN is looking very, very different today. Please, let's put our hands together for him as we welcome the ACEN president, Engineer Kam Salem Alhaji Bukar, FNSC. A round of applause for you, sir. You are welcome. Yes. And well placed. You are well placed, sir. Mr. President, you are well dressed, well placed between the past and the future. And you are all dressing alike. You're welcome. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I equally recognize some members of the ESCO of ACEN here present. We have Engineer Benga Ajayi, FNSC. You are welcome. Please, a round of applause for him. A round of applause for him. We have also Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNSC. A round of applause for him. And, okay, I was looking for the MD. Ladies and gentlemen, also we have in our midst the immediate past national chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Highways and Transportation Engineers, Engineer Saidu Hassan, FNSC. A round of applause for him. All firm members here present. All FEM members here present, ladies and gentlemen, can we please be upstanding as we begin this event with the national anthem? Thank you. Together we pray the third stanza as our opening prayer. Together we pray, O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria will be blessed. Amen. Thank you all very much. Let us have our seats. Once again, you are welcome to the Day 2 program of the 27th Annual Conference 2025 AGM and dinner of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. You are all welcome. And to our online participants, we welcome you and we appreciate you as you enjoy the proceedings with us. May I now invite for his address to welcome us and tell you welcome and, have a wonderful time, the president of ACEN. You are welcome. Thank you. Protocols. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we quickly go to our technical session, the panel session. Team opportunities for competitive growth of local engineering firms. May I now invite the chairman of this panel session is our past president of ACEN, Engineer K.A. Adeola, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Academy of Engineering. A round of applause for him. And then our panelists, we invite the Vice President of ACEN, Engineer Kunle Adebajo, C-Eng F9 Struct E. This is a round of applause for him. Then we invite to join the panelists, Engineer Benga Ajayi, FNSE, the Managing Partner and CEO of Asonic Associates Limited. And then we invite to join the panelists, Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNSE MNICE, Partner and Director with Kabir Associates. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The first thing I'd like to say is to admonish all of us. We said we're going to start at 9. Our president arrived at 10. It is not right. And the constituency must be able to give feedback to the leadership. That is my feedback. If the president arrives at 10, we can all come after 10 because he hasn't shown us good example. They say I'm a very harsh person, but I always speak the truth. My apologies for saying it in public, but some things have to be said in public. Okay. We are the problem. There's a gentleman here that I'd like to recognize. His name is Engineer DOK. There are people who serve ACEN selflessly for several years. But because they don't take position, they don't occupy office, many people don't get to know them. And this man came from Enugu and is in our midst. And Engineer DOK, please stand up, face the crowd, and let them. He's been with us through thick and thin. He used to provide training for ACEN School of Consulting Engineering pro bono for several years. And he's still doing it. Engineer DOK, how can I thank you on behalf of all of us? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was supposed to leave, but the topic that we have to take today is perhaps the most important topic to all of us. Yesterday, the last session, we were talking about the strategic importance of consulting engineering to national development. And today, we are talking about opportunities for competitive growth of local consulting engineers. If consulting engineering is important to national development, are we ready? Have we prepared ourselves? Have we grown up to that position where we can provide that leadership? My personal opinion, is that we have not. That's my personal opinion. If they ask us today to nominate 5 people from Aken to be Minister of Works, Minister of Transport, Minister of this, Minister of that, who amongst us do we have confidence enough in his competence, integrity, that we will be able to nominate, and we are sure we'll do the work? I'm sure we'll be arguing amongst ourselves, and we will be searching. Are we ready? Opportunity for competitive growth in local consulting practice. After about 30, 40, 50 years of Aken, where were we when IT was hijacked by programmers and Nigerian consulting engineers didn't rise up to occupy the space? Where were we? AI is making vibes. We're ignoring it. What are we doing? Why didn't we dominate project management space? Why do we just want to determine the area of steel and the diameter of the cable and the size of the pipe, and we think that that's all there is to engineering? Why, when they were talking about innovation, why aren't we reinventing ourselves? That is the theme of today's topic. Yesterday, we were talking to other people, what other people should do for us. What should we do for ourselves? What should we do for ourselves? Let's search our own heart. If you left school, I left school in 1975, 50 years ago. If they're still calling me a civil engineer, you've shortchanged me. I was a civil engineer in 1975. What did I become in 1985? Was I still a civil engineer? What have I added in 10 years? What did I become in 1995, 2005, 2015? I still want to be calling myself civil engineer. It's like when people talk about their secondary school, I say that is for fun. Because if you are still referring to the school you went to when you were 16, and you haven't, if it didn't teach you well, you haven't taught yourself well. If it taught you well, you haven't built on it, then it is a wasted life, honestly speaking. Let us start. We're talking to ourselves. Outsiders are not here today. What have we done with ourselves? What can you do today that you couldn't do 10 years ago? If you haven't found, then you're joking. Because what they taught us in the classroom was technical engineering, technical solution provider. They didn't teach us visioning. They didn't teach us diagnosis. They didn't teach us presentation. They didn't teach us persuasion. And if you have not added all those to your repertoire, then you don't have a justification for the issues, for wanting to be leaders. We then say, look at the Minister of War. Is he not an engineer? Yes, he studied engineering, strength of materials. He studied engineering, theory of structures. But the Minister for Works doesn't do strength of materials and theory of structures. He leads. That's my preamble. And I have very strong panelists with me. I have known Buga forever. It was young and upcoming. And Buga will tell us what he has done with his farm in the last 20 years to position it, to provide the strategic role of the consulting engineer in an industry. And if what he says is shallow, he will be feeling guilty as he is saying it. What have you done with your firm in the last 20 years to position it for national development? The first step to position for national development is the farm's growth itself. Because if the farm himself is not strong, how can he contribute to others? Engineer Buga.
It's an honor to speak to this gathering. And as our elder said, this is the highest point of this AGM today. In fact, to me, it's more important than the entire AGM. We are looking at survival. We are not even talking about sustainability. So that is why this issue is very important. And our own engineer, Bayo Adeola, has put me on the spot, actually. But I'm okay with it. I know all of us are on the same spot as me, including himself, that asked me the same question. But all the same, in trying to answer this question, even though I never knew he would ask it in this way, in his own style. I never knew he would ask this question in this way, but I will use what I prepared to answer the question. So I hope you will bear with me in that sense. What I have learned over the years, I realized that most of us are coming into consultancy with a mindset, and the mindset that was wrong. What was the mindset? The mindset of, I have heard that they are making money there, and I want to go and make money. With no clear goals, no direction. Coincidentally, our late principal partner, I still thank him, and I continue to pray for him. He gave me the opportunity. You know, he had a style. Anytime any work comes in, he would just dump it on my lap, and he will leave. That's why I'm saying, if I can, as we are growing today, if we can get people closer to the way we were working with him, if we can get young professionals to behave closer to that, life will be very, very different. So this mindset issue, we have to know that we are delivering service, and this service is to humanity. Whatever comes out of it is based on the value that we are able to deliver. So over time, we tried to concentrate on developing young professionals, well, what I can say, talent management. Then we also realized, based on the PDIC's objectives of developing us, I attended the Young Professionals Training Program. Now they call it Akem Future Leaders. In fact, I was the second Nigerian to attend that. And the main aim of it is to teach you how to run consultancy firms as a business. And I'm proud to say the chairman of this session was one of my facilitators at FIDIC in 2009. So that, at Cabrera Associates at that time, the main focus is to build capacity. And from that building capacity, that was what led us to participation even to ACEN, Gamma, and the rest of the program in FIDIC and the rest of it, to ensure that we are delivering the value. In trying also to draw our own attention. Okay. That's why I said you are putting me on the spot. In trying to, let me rush it, in trying to deliver it, like we can say, there is what they call law of compensation. Whatever you are doing, you need to be compensated. And the law says, is there demand in what you are doing? What is your ability to meet the demand? And can you make yourself difficult to be replaced? So that is the essence. For you to do that, you have to prepare. And if you have to prepare, you have to structure your business. Part of what you have said, from communication to your people, processes, business development, more especially networking. And what are you doing about technology, AI? Is your proposal responsive? Are you just thinking because you know someone in the ministry, you're okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Engineer Boga, thank you. I actually put him on the spot because I know he's strong enough to be put on the spot. And you know, that is relationship of trust. Boga, I've known him 20 years. He knows we are friends. And after this, we are going to laugh. And he's going to say, can you put me on the spot? I'm going to say, yes. If I can't put on the spot, who can I put on the spot? And when the president didn't arrive, and he came to me, he said, let's wait for the president to start. I said, the president is late, let's go and start. And when the president is sitting from, I'm looking at him, I say, no, there is something that people come to accept from you in good faith. Because I love the president, he knows it. We don't extend. And some people must just be able to tell him, no, otherwise we create a monster. Okay. Now, what is ACEN doing about it? And I'll tell you what ACEN can do about it. In 2008, I was president. We say anything that is not measured doesn't grow. Anything that is not scored doesn't grow. We said, ACEN members, let's start turning in an annual turnover and staff strength. Annual. And every year we will publish. These are the top 10 firms in ACEN. And we give it to every ministry. What message are we selling? We have evaluated ourselves and we have ranked ourselves. If you want to join that top 10, go and do something. We said it. But our members didn't want it. Those who had money, like the person I'm going to ask to address it, didn't want us to know they had money. So they didn't want to announce their turnover. They didn't want to announce their turnover and their staff strength. Those who didn't have money didn't want us to know they were poor. So they didn't want to announce their turnover and their staff strength. But anything that is not measured, anything that is not ranked, will not grow. ACEN has not found a way of improving the image of its farm members by measurable parameters. And therefore, we don't have a message of these are the best in the industry to government or private sector. Mr. Vice President, I don't know whether I'm calling you for the first reason or for the second reason, but somewhere, or both. What can I do to encourage farm members to work on improving themselves in a measurable way so that we come here and we announce and reward these achievements rather than personalities?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I agree with the previous speaker that this is probably the most important, and I hope that by the time we leave here, at least we will have set a few people on a different trajectory. I don't know that you've given me time, but it's beautiful. I think I can work with that. Because I just want to address Engineer Buga. You spoke glowingly about him, but he confessed that he was put on the spot. And he's also somebody I admire and I love, but I will also say he showed it that he was on the spot because he rambled a bit. And Abi? Yeah. Because we're talking amongst ourselves now. And what occurred to me when he was rambling was that maybe part of the problem too is that we are not as flexible and adaptable as we would like to be. The market is changing. It's changing rapidly. And the rest of the world is changing just as fast. But if I have to be very honest, and I'm praying, one of my biggest prayer points is that in a year, 2 years' time, some of these comments won't be appropriate. But what I see in the hall are people who have been successful in certain ways in the past, and they're living in that glory. They're able to live in that glory because there are contacts and so on. All those contacts are also becoming extinct eventually. So what is going to happen? The firms are also going to follow and be extinct, but hopefully that will not be the case. So I think the very first thing is this issue of being able to adapt to the market. A market woman doesn't go in with products and insist that somebody must buy it. Instead, you look at she looks at what is selling, what do people want, and she makes her products accordingly. I'm also going to just give an example of, this is almost it's strange to bring this up, but I want to bring the case of the Nigerian music market. When we were in school, and unfortunately many of you are also sporting all this gray as I'm sporting, we never listened to any Nigerian dance music. It was all Michael Jackson, Kinecon 5, James Brown, and co. Today, not even just here in Nigeria, go anywhere in the world, go to America, any shop I go to now, it's Nigerian music being played. So something has happened. Something has happened. And I want to say, you've made, not only have we got something, we've adapted it, we've made sure that people want it, and we've worked on it. So, if I come back to your question, oh wow, okay. Well, thank God you have me for the next year or two, so whatever I don't say now, you'll hear it sometime. Yeah, because I was also going to say that you talked about measurements. And I agree about measuring for growth. But please, let us also be very clear. Based on what I said yesterday about everybody is a consultant, as long as they can give value and direct someone. I don't expect everybody in the hall to have 100 staff or 200 staff. There will be some excellent consultants who are going to be almost standalone. You talked about your freeze. So the issue is not only, I agree we must measure growth, but the issue is, why aren't we adapting? You've talked about AI, sustainability. Let me say my own, and I'm not blowing my trumpet. Where we are today is not where I thought we were going to be 10 years ago. We are providing services now totally, yes, we are doing the normal structural, but how many 30-story buildings are there to do? And we spent almost 4 years on the job, drawings upon drawings. We don't make profit on those jobs. But there are some projects we do it in a week, and we make as much as we make in the ones that everybody's saying, I see your name on the board. And there's no name on no board. We're quietly doing it. Value, because there are some people who need that value. And that's what we consultants need to do. Thank you, sir.
Well, the first speaker, who is my friend Rambold, and didn't answer my question. The second speaker, who is also my friend Rambold, and didn't answer my question. My question was, what is Aken doing? I was very clear. What is Aken doing to motivate and inspire growth? And because Aken hasn't been doing anything, the Vice President Rambold. No. It's not your turn. 30 seconds. Okay, you have 30 seconds.
Is it carry over?
Yes, I agree with you, sir. I didn't answer the question because I failed, but because what was most important in my mind was not to say what are we doing, but basically to look at what we should be doing. And hopefully then we can benchmark against what we're doing. But you are right, it's not the question. So Aken actually has been doing quite a bit in terms of the training. But we've also agreed that it's not just standalone courses. So one of the things Aken, I was very impressed with the one we held a little while ago, which was how to run a business or how to run a practice. That to me was it was the type of thing that NSC may not be able to do, Korean may not be able to do, but Aken does it because our day-to-day work is this. So Aken is actually trying. But you see, the question is who out of those in the hall here are actually going to those courses, except for the one I mentioned, because you've said it yourself, sir. We're no longer in the business of sizing pipes, or not necessarily in the business of sizing pipes. So Aken is trying to approach this issue of vision and orientation, but we need to do more. So that's the answer, sir. Thank you. 30 seconds.
Well, with the Vice President, 30 seconds can become 2 minutes, but it's okay. So basically, the first one, it says, what has my farm done? It's not boisterous, it's searching for. The second one, what has Aken done? It's not boisterous, it's searching for what can qualify. Okay, so you can see where the problem is when we are talking to ourselves. There are a few gentlemen in Abuja, a few of them, who I've watched grow over the last 20 years. And I've been inspired by them. They are the core of this particular conference. And they generally sat on the table to my extreme right. And I will come in, I will shake their hand, and I will say good morning. And they look, by Aken standard, they look filthy rich. By Aken standard. And we are so proud of them. How have you done it? Because what are you passing to the next generation? In this environment where we all struggled, how did you do it? What would you want to share? The owner of the question, I don't need. What can you share with us? Because all those people on that table in the last 20 years, year in, year out, when they were even children, they were going with me to FIDIC, to places I couldn't go with wife and children. I could only take my wife.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, sir. for the privilege. I want to say that just like the first two speakers have said, this is quite a very important discourse that we're having this morning. And because it's a family, I think there's nothing that we can hide from ourselves. The first thing is that engineering is all about solving problems. And if there are no problems, there will be nothing to solve. And of course, Nigeria is a developing country, so this is where all the problems are for each and every one of us to solve. I found out that we have so much opportunities everywhere. Infrastructure, roads, all of them are in deficit. And we can always key in to be able to get the job done. But for me, it all began with how I started my life. By the time I was done with school, I was trekking everywhere looking for work. And at the gate of everywhere, they just turned you back because you didn't know anyone inside. So I made a vow that if God will ever help me to be something in life, I will not turn people back because they do not have experience. I will turn people back only if it's obvious that they cannot work with me. So because of that, by the time we started Asonic, we only employ greenhorns. We don't take people who have experience from other places. We take people who have not known anything. Because we know that sin squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1, whether here or in China or in Japan. So everybody knows engineering. Everybody knows how to add 1 to 1 and it becomes 2. So that's not the issue. The issue is this person trainable? Can this person develop? Can this person grow? So you come in and grow with us. And that has been our way. However, where are we going to get the money from to be able to do all this? So we start with the small. And then we will move on to the next. So this was the trajectory, that was the plan. We did jobs in Abuja as proxy consultants. That is, working on behalf of the person who knows the people and got the job. We were on NCC project, NCC headquarters, from foundation to the completion. Our name was never on that project because we were working on behalf of someone that got the project. But we saw it as an opportunity to grow because we were learning and no two projects are the same. All the people that joined us, a few of them are here in this place today. Sir, you would have seen us in FIDIC and you would have thought we're rich. Well, the reason why you see us like that in FIDIC is because we believe strongly that if you don't invest in your staff, then they cannot represent you where you're supposed to be seated. So every single staff we have who is an engineer, including an accountant in our office, have had to get training both abroad and abroad. And why we do this all the time, I'll give you an example. I went for negotiation for the renovation of this hotel where we are seated. And we were doing that negotiation in Lagos. And the board members just simply asked me, have you stayed in a 5-star hotel before? I felt very insulted as a consultant. Do I need to stay in a 5-star hotel before I know what goes on there? So I answered them. But when we came to discussing the fees, and they were pricing me low, I now asked them, with this fee that you are suggesting, how would you have expected me to have stayed in a 5-star hotel? So it takes determination for us to be able to grow as consultants. The competition is stiff. Most of us, if we change our roles today and become procurement officers, we'll be too ashamed of all the consultants that are making presentations to us. because the procurement department is the one that sees all our flaws. We don't. And they just compare all of us with ourselves. I was on PTF project 1995, 96, 97, and we were project managers. And project consultants were making submissions to us. We were ashamed of most of those things that were brought to us. That's because people just refuse to develop themselves because they have access to getting the job. But for us, we feel that the best way for any organization in consulting to grow is to have the people developed, because the people are the real assets of the company. Thank you, sir.
Well, I just wanted to show that I don't always put people on the spot, that sometimes I ask them the questions that they can answer. So he was able to give us some of the critical success factors. He was able to share some of the critical success factors that they think were important in their own growth trajectory. One of the ones that he said is relatively new to me, a policy of I'm going to employ only green people and groom them and invest in them. And by the time they've spent 5, 6, 7 years, many of them will resign because they've got better job. But he doesn't have any regret about it because it's part of the philosophy of his company to train people. It's a very powerful one. Because in my own 50-year career, I worked somewhere for 22 years before I formed my own. They will come green. 3 years later, they will saunter into my office. Excuse me, sir, I don't know how to tell you. I said, tell me. I want to leave, sir. Yes. Where are you going? Europe. Ah, okay. My good friend has finally enjoyed my stuff. How much are they offering you? He will say, 250,000 naira. Maybe I was paying me 120. And I will look at him and say, if I'm you, I will leave. Because I don't know when it will get to 250,000 in my company. But I have given him a search for life. They have remained loyal to me all their lives. They don't need to be in my farm. They will always say, after some time, some companies started employing them, whether it's the bank or it is this, because they know we have trained them. It's our brand value. So as a firm, train people. Stop saying they won't stay. They don't need to stay. If you had stayed where you were, you would not have your own farm. You left somewhere and somebody trained you and you have grown, train them. They are apostles. They carry your flag. They carry your brand. They carry your reputation everywhere they go. I'm going to be a little bit different from what we did yesterday. Who in the floor wants to make a contribution to this discourse? Only for 3 minutes. Engineer DOK, today's my day with you. I want you to make a contribution to this discourse because you've done it. Please give him the microphone.
Well, thank you, colleagues. I don't know how to start, but I want to say that I've always believed that what we needed as consulting engineers is to build our capacity. Capacity is what I see lacking with many of us. And that is why, like he said, in 2007, I succeeded in convincing the then president of Aken to start the School of Consulting Engineering in Aken. And I was privy to formulating and recommending the material, the training resources that will be used and all that, and even gave the first lecture in the use of the civil engineering standard method of measurement in preparing bills of quantities, because I believe that many of us engineers lack knowledge in the use and preparation of quantities. We are talking to ourselves, because in many firms, you'll be surprised to see a civil engineering firm talking about quantity surveyors, having some quantity surveyors working for them. And the civil engineer is not a civil engineer if he's not a cost engineer, if he cannot say the cost of what he has designed and what he is recommending. And so, for us, like my friend Benga Jay has said, where we believe in training. If you go to the Enugu area, we are known for training not only engineers, but students in universities. In our firm, there is no year we will not train up to 5 to 10 students from universities, many of who end up having first class in the university. And when they finish, some of them from youth service, they get employment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the contribution. See, this is important. The topic is opportunity for competitive growth, local consulting engineering. The first one, of course, is the vision of this, you people. If your vision is not clear, believe me, if it is all selfish and inward-looking, it has no meaning. If it is limited to what you studied in school 12 years, 15 years, 20 years ago, it is useless. If it is not embracing the changing trend in the industry, it is useless. And that is why when I started with Buga, I said, what have you done differently? I worked in a design office for 22 years. I became a partner. But 10 years before I left, I introduced project management. It was very green, and nobody was doing project management as an end. And I said, I'm a project manager. And my firm, CPMS, that was the name, Comprehensive Project Management Services Limited, survived on project management. We stopped competing on structures or core design. Project management then took on life. And we then found that other people joined us, because once you start something and it is working, other people would join. It's only reasonable. It will become more competitive. And you then need to create new things. So we took project management to regional planning. We took project management to mass housing. We took it to area where the other people were not taking it to. What are you doing? Who is, for instance, we're talking about opportunities. We know that we are now designing in 3D. We know that we are doing business intelligence. Which firms here have developed that expertise as a competitive advantage that he can go and compete and say, see what we're doing, and is razzmatazing the client with his presentation. Who? Other people will then do it. Finances, economists, geographers, because it's not a prerogative of engineering. The core engineering that we were doing in our generation is going to become a commodity. AI is going to do it. Structural design, you're going to put data in and you're going to get the damn thing out. If that's where you are, I don't know if you ever watched the film Who Moved My Cheese? The work is not there anymore. The work has moved to somewhere else. Which competencies have you delivered that the people are asking for? That's the question. And we are not good. Who else on the floor wants to make a contribution? Yes, sir. Give it to him, right there. This is to say that these people are not held hostage. And because it is our collective problem, we're just providing the platform for the discourse, really. Yeah.
Thank you, the moderator, for this interesting session, and all the panelists for the answers they have given. I thank all the participants too. Basically, when I look at the definition, ACEN, Association for Consulting Engineering, I discovered that we still have a long way to go We haven't started since I joined. Yes, because we need to change, reposition and restructure Aken to enter the government. Because awareness of Aken is still below standard. We need to improve on the awareness anywhere we are. Because that awareness and changing strategy is important for growth, like you mentioned. That's my humble submission.
Thank you. Thank you. The leadership of Aken is here, and we are collectively the leadership of Aken. It's not our president. Our president is a symbol of us. But it is what we pressure him for that we will get out of him. And this is just mobilizing all of us. What can we do? He says the awareness is from inside out. If you have nothing to sell, when you then get the platform, what do you want to do with it? But Bola Tinubu or Shettima says, come and see me in 2 weeks' time. When you get there, who do you want to say, put these 2-3 firms on the Lagos-Calabar road? And we are sure that they have the competence and that they will represent us meaningfully. We will not be embarrassed. Where are they? Power? What solutions are we presenting to Rural Electrification Board as to what they should present? We're waiting for them to appoint us. We're not leaders. And we're not behaving like leaders. A leader visions, conceptualizes, and then sells. I don't know if I'm communicating. Huh? Sure.
Yes, I think yesterday you hear I said what happened with NI/T 25 years ago. It's all well and good saying Aken is not being, is not the awareness. But I have to agree with the chairman. Aken is an association. It's an association simply for us. So we are Aken. It's not the president or the treasurer or the vice president. It's everybody. And if you are a father in a house and someone knocks on your door and you can say, come and see my children. This one, he can do some assault. This one, he can do this. There will nobody will be short of coming to this person's house. He will be proud of his children. So actually, Aken has to be formed by, it has to be the drive. Yes, there will be leaders, but it has to be driven by the president of Aken would like to go to anywhere and say, why aren't you using Nigerians? Do you know that this is what is available? This is what we can do. These are opportunities. We need that. So it's not to diminish what you said, sir. But what I want to say is, in continuation of what the chairman said, is I'm not seeing the dynamism. I'm not seeing the real enthusiasm. My sister here, who is not an engineer, yesterday, I got the excitement from her that we are turning this thing around, and there were some adjectives she used that made me make a note that I must go and see what they're doing. But I'm not actually seeing it even in ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we have 5 minutes, so I have let the genie out of the box. I want to close the box back. And everybody wants to talk, but we have only 5 minutes. I think the message has been passed. I think everything else anybody is going to say is either going to reinforce it, or support it, or illustrate it. If you think you have anything you want to say that hasn't been said, show your hand. Yes. Hasn't been said. If we find that it has been said, I will start with you. And 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Yeah. Just a quick one. Since we say we are talking to ourselves, and if somebody should come to Aken.
I'm counting. 30.
Yes, just.
Because the preamble is long, your 1 minute will be up.
Okay. So what I wanted to say is this. Yes, when we look inwards, I think we can see some of us whom we can point at and say, yes, go for this. I remember Aken. There was a time they asked Aken members, some of our member companies, to submit our profiles and things like that. And at the end of the day, I've not had anything.
We didn't believe it. You know, the way you say it's obvious, it's not obvious to me. Please sit down. You have said your own. It's not a dialogue. It's not obvious to me that there are good companies in Aken. It's not obvious. It's not self-evident. And the CVs don't say it. It is the impact. It's the impact in the field that says it. AI can generate any. I mean, when you see people's CV, until you interview them, you know that it's all nonsense. If you can't stand up there and tell me 5 projects that you have done that everybody knows, then what do you mean you submitted CV? We all did. No, not here. It's not, at the tea break, we'll have the dialogue because we run out of time. Believe me, this is very serious conversation. It is not self-evident. Because if it's self-evident, you'll be able to compete. You won't even need Aken. If you're that good, you won't need Aken. Believe me, 90% of the work that I did in my career, Aken had nothing to do with it. FIDIC had nothing to do with it. It was self-effort. So you will survive with or without Aken because people will know that you are doing good things. If you still need to point the finger, you haven't started though. They say which team is on the league. You say Bradford. We say who is Bradford? When you say Arsenal, everybody knows. When you say Man, you say what's wrong with them? That's it. We are our own Arsenal. We are our own Liverpool. We are our own, to use the football analogy. When we say McKinsey, everybody raises his hand. When we say Bouygues, everybody knows it's a construction company. If you still have to tell a story, you are not there. Yes. 1 minute.
Yeah. I know that will give me 2 minutes.
Bribery will get you everywhere.
Mr. Chairman, there's quite a serious problem. Private sector thrives in Lagos and Abuja. You can stay in Lagos without doing government project and survive. You can stay in Abuja without doing any government project and survive. But when you get to government projects, some of the consultants here do government projects. And let me tell you a story.
Within 2 minutes.
No, this story is outside the...
Outside the 2 minutes.
A student of mine came to me from the River Basin Development Authority and told me that there is a consultancy he wants us to do in the organization. I said, fine, we'll give you the best. He came back again and said, how much would we charge? I said, what is how much here now? Who will see the project and give you the best? He came to me and said, look, they charge 10%. After the consultancy money, they give the young consultant 10%. And then take the remaining part of the money. And consultancy has been done. It is sad. So you see the younger ones here, there are so many consultants. Again, as the former registrar of Quarren, they come to me, please recommend me to be Aken. So we see that the younger consultants that are here, that is the way they try. At the end of the day, consultancy goes down completely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You see, I can make him do 2 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, can I have 1 minute, please?
That's the last one. Nobody should ask me for favors anymore.
No, you know, when you started, you mentioned something, and I think we've been coming to AGMs and we've been coming to programs. You talked about measurement. I think it's the right time to start. Because we cannot be coming, this issue, we've been discussing it day in, day out. And I'm sure if we continue now, we'll reach afternoon time, still discussing the problems. So I want you to end with a measure that we can measure tomorrow.
Thank you. So I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to end this session. And our reaction, our contribution, our feeling, positive, neutral, negative, all over the place, that was the whole idea. We're not doing well. We're not doing well. That's the summary. Individually, a few of us have tried. We've survived. Believe me, I have survived. Everything that I am has been given to me by this country. And by the measure of consulting engineering, I have lived a decent life. But we need much more. We need many more. And Aken does not teach you engineering. Your professional association does. Institute of Civil Engineering teaches you civil engineering. Institute of Electrical Engineering teaches you electrical engineering. So if you want to do core engineering, go to those places. This is the business of consulting engineering. There are at least 500 engineering topics. Aken cannot. How many can Aken handle? Is it foundation design? Is it structural design? Is it BEME? We can't. But there are many other engineering platforms for handling core engineering. What Aken is focusing on is the business of consulting engineering. Business is measured all over the world by two broad parameters. Financials. What is your turnover? What is return on investment? What is profit? They don't care what you are doing. If we are not using our financials to rank ourselves and use it as an aspiration for growth, your staff strength and the projects, the visibility of the projects that you have done at their impact, those are the parameters we need to put on the table. And we need to measure them annually. We need to publish them annually. After some time, when they are looking for ministers, that's where they will go. When they are looking for who to give a job, that's where they will go. What Bukky said yesterday, when they're looking for a cable company, they went to MyCom. They didn't come to me because I don't make cables. If they're looking for consulting engineering, where should they go to find us and find great engineers? That is the responsibility of Aken, to grow the practice. Let us refocus. I'd like to bring this to an end, and I thank you all for your active participation and for listening.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together. Mr. President, may I request that you come up stage and have a group picture with them, with the chairman and the panelists. Thank you very much. That's, I must say, a very, very wonderful presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to the other part of our program for today. as we equally welcome the MD of MyCom Cables and Wires, Mrs. Buki Adubi. You are welcome, ma'am. So now we continue to okay, so quickly, we shall now take our next presentation on EcoPace, Engineering Consultancy and Project Management Services Agreement, Charges and Conditions of Engagement. And that presentation will be taken by Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNSE FNITE. Can we please put our hands together for him as he comes up to make the presentation on EcoPace?
Okay. Before I continue, I will want to call on members of this committee who are ACEM members, starting with Engineer Benga Ajayi. Please, can you come over? Then Engineer Sharapadin, Olumo Sharapadin, can sit there, please. As we go to the presentation, you will see that the members of this committee are about 13 in number. And ACEN is having 4, Koren is having 4. Engineer Yumi Lawson is unavoidably absent. He's actually in the US. We had discussion yesterday night, but it will be around 3 a.m. now or so where he is, so he'll be able to join us even online. But what are we here to do today? Is to present to ACEN the committee work that we are doing that was started by ACEN, escalated by Koren, and that's where we are today. And if you look over it says Engineering Consultancy and Project Management Services Agreement, Charges and Condition of Engagement. In fact, it's a good continuation from what we have just discussed now, because this committee was set up by Koren to review this document. Okay. Let us go for a quick background. In 2010, 2011, there was a survey that was carried out by ACEN, because ACEN realized that they're missing young people who are coming into the industry simply because what ACEN was paying as a package was actually nothing to write home about. And a survey was conducted, and I think it was Engineer Yumi Lawson who chaired that committee at that time. And that survey led to a report that agreed that there is need to actually revise the charges that we charge for our services so that we'll be able to pay and live the life that we really want to live as consultants. So in 2014, the first version of EcoPace was published. And you remember, I'll talk about it later, This document is about it has three things there. It said agreement, engineering consultancy services agreement. Then you have agreement, you also have charges, and you have condition of engagement. So these are the three things that contained in that document. The 2014 version contained everything. But in 2015, when it was being revised, the agreement and condition of engagement was removed. So it was only the tables for the scales. So unfortunately, those documents, the 2015 document and the 2014 document, it was realized that the acceptance was low. Probably because there was no enforcement, and probably they mentioned that it's costly. Because of the way we looked at and see engineering consultancy. When you are dealing with billions and trillions, and when somebody asks for a few millions, and you are saying it's expensive. But over the years, this problem persisted, and Koren, in his wisdom with Aken, they were decided to now find out why is it that these documents are not being used. Why? And a survey was conducted again amongst Aken membership and some other stakeholders. And that's starting from 2023, which culminated to the presentation. First, we presented the report to the Koren, and Koren decided to make it an item of the assembly of this year that was held in Abuja. So in July this year, Aken presented, it was actually presented by Aken president here, and we supported him, Engineer Yumiloson and myself. We presented in a gathering, which was a family gathering of Koren, and from there, it was agreed that Koren needs to set up another committee that will actually review this document with the current realities that we're in. And that was what brought our own committee. And our committee was actually inaugurated in August. What's wrong with this? Okay, IT, please. Okay. It's important that we should realize, or whenever they say ECOFACE, people even don't really understand what the name, even to remember the name is something. It's an acronym, and this acronym is from there, as you can see. The ECO, let me say ECO far from the first section of the acronym. It's Engineering Consultancy and Project Management Services Agreement. Then the C there stands for the charges. And the CE stands for conditions of engagement. So these are the components. So after today, when they say ECOFACE or ECOFAS, whichever way you say, you remember that these are the components, what make up the items there. Then this committee, like I've mentioned earlier, it's comprised of 13-member committee that was this Koren decided to. And coincidentally, I'm not being selfish when I put Aken at the top there, but even Koren agreed that this is work of Aken. And that's why we had 4 members from Aken, and some of even the Koren members that they made it for, the active ones are not even up to that. Then we have representatives from all the stakeholders. The NSC, there is 1 person representing. The NATE, which is for the technicians, there is 1. And for the craftsmen, the NAIC, there is 1. And for the Association of the Contractors, we have 1. And representative from Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. So that's how the terms of reference, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. There are about 7 there, but the key ones, there are basically 3, I can say. One is to review the document itself. Second is to design engagement with the stakeholders. And there is a template for that, and also a validation workshop. What does that mean, validation workshop? It was agreed at the Korean Assembly that whatever this committee finalized upon is going to be presented to a national workshop. When they say validation, is to give other people opinion, understand what we have done so far, to sensitize people before the final approval by the council. Then the last major important one is to design strategies for advocacy. So there are 3 pillars. And based on that, we at the main committee, which I'm actually chairing, we decided to form 3 subcommittees based on these key areas. The first subcommittee is the ECOFES review. I mean, the main review, including the 3 components that I mentioned earlier: the agreement, the charges. These are the tables of the scale of fees that we charge, and the condition of engagement. These are all documents combined in that review. So there is a subcommittee taking care of that. Then another subcommittee is the stakeholder engagement and validation workshop. They are supposed to design how we engage the stakeholders and design the validation workshop again. Then the last subcommittee is advocacy and sensitization. Coincidentally, Engineer Olumo Sharafuddin is the chairman of the subcommittee on stakeholder engagement. And before we leave here, he is going to share a questionnaire with all of us here that we fill immediately. It takes just about 5 minutes or less. And Engineer Benga is member of the subcommittee for ECOFES review. So far, what are our activities and the progress we have recorded so far? We were given 3 months, and we are virtually entering the last phase of our assignment now. Starting from late August, we are to end this assignment by end of this month. And we decided to be meeting once in 2 weeks anyway. Then the first thing we did was to design a questionnaire which was meant to gauge ACEM members' awareness apart from this on this EcoPace and whether how they have been using it. And later on, we are looking at 2 major issues now. Where are we going to have the base? So that is why some were saying we should use the dollar rate. Some were saying in the committee we should use the consumer price indices or inflation index. And based on that, we decided to write. We visited MBS and wrote to them also. They harnessed we requested for the consumer price indices from January 1996, which the last scale of this document was carrying anyway, to date. And they made it available to us both electronically and hard copy. So the subcommittee who are going to be in the review are going to use the data to now finalize on the tables. Then stakeholder engagement, they have already presented and circulated the second questionnaire, which I'm sure some of us here might have received it. Can I show by show of hands, have any member here seen that questionnaire and he has filled it? Please, by show of hand. Let's see by show of hands. Okay, we still have some, but actually it's just about maybe, is it up to 20% or 30% of people here? Huh? About 20%. So you can see that's why we really have a long way to go. Unfortunately, he's going to share it, and I think at this juncture, you can just share it in the ACENS forum. You have done that. Or any one of us who is on ACENS forum, I know most of us are, you should check your phone now and please dial. It's a Google form. It's very easy and simple to fill. Just click it and you fill it. Then the advocacy subcommittee has also presented a prelim design for them that we are going to include. Then the last but not the least is the advocacy subcommittee. When, the ECOPES review, they are going to provide their draft because we have timetable and deliveries and we are working based on our work plan. Oh, sorry. I want to conclude this presentation partly with some of the challenges that we need to address. And one of the key issues that we've seen, we keep on lamenting about our situation, about our services, about our practices, engineering practice, and how can we. Because sometimes you send this information for just people to feel. Some will say, it's like everybody has lost confidence that associations or even Quoren will do anything. But Quoren is doing a lot, in advancing engineering these days. And this work is actually our own brainchild, and it's going to affect us more. But this revision we are doing is inclusive, that it involves any engineer of whatever calling, whether you are a consultant or no, it's going to affect, as long as you are going to give a service. So we have to be optimistic that this time around it will work. And one of the reasons is, before, Quoren had no power prior to 2014, 2015 to gazette anything. So it was a bit difficult to enforce, but with the revision of the Quoren Act in 2008, it gave the Quoren power to do some gazetting, and when we combine that with advocacy, sensitization, we say this is our document and this is what we are charging, and we hope that it will affect the lives of our people. Then that's why we need more commitment. One of the challenges that people are talking about is the issue of the private sector. They say, okay, if the government can pay. In fact, even in government, we are still having problems with our own people, just like we've been discussing. The same engineers are the same people in government, and they seem to have a kind of, they looked at anything consultancy as if they are just assisting us or they are doing us a favor, when it's the lifeline of the engineering practice itself. If you stop training people, as we all discuss here, and people are not into consultancy, you can imagine what will happen in the very near future. So people who are in government, if some of them are here, please know that whatever we do, it will come back to us. So if we develop ourselves, some of them even wants to come back and become consultants after they retire. But they will not support us while they were in government. We have seen something different with lawyers, and the others. They assist their own. So we need to be careful on that. And the private sector also, once we make it, because this our committee is going to come up with at least 2 versions, apart from the eco-pace and even maybe the sliding scale. So there are, and can be value-based, project-based, or whatever, based on what you have. So it will be applicable to all. Then wide sensitization and high-level advocacy is on the pipeline. After this, our document, it's going to be a high-level advocacy, which will lead to any high level to ensure that this thing becomes operational and applicable to all. Then enforcement strategies are also being put in place to ensure that it's not just to have a document, but if you have someone, because we know it is our attitude that is causing the problem. You go somewhere, what we were taught in basic consultancy is to keep to your rates. Coincidentally, I didn't even know that I would ever be the chairman of this committee, but I have suffered on this. The president knows very well. I've been very faithful about this ECOFES since when it came out. What we were taught is you keep your rates, but you can negotiate, but you don't change the rates. You can give discount. Because if you do that, tomorrow when somebody comes and say, this is what he's charging, say, oh, Mr. X charged so yesterday. Why are you asking me? But you can tell him, these are the rates, approved rates. But I can give you discount depending on the project you are doing. This is a private person. Let him know that this is the exact amount. You can decide to give discount of whatever you think you can support as a business. So that is why it is very important for us to know that this work is an important work, just like what we have just discussed. And this is the lifeline of our own. Why are we so, you see, you said this thing is expensive. This is Abuja here. Everybody knows from 2023 to date, even 3-bedroom house, how much is it now? Who can tell me? How much is it? 8 million now. Rent. You can imagine. Imagine so many other things, and you want to pay someone to feel that he really belongs to the, to be proud of a profession that he's in. And projects are going in trillions now, is it not? So the argument is very clear. We need to advance it for people to know the value we are putting in, because they waste a lot of money when they don't use consultants. With this brief, I think I want to give my committee members, they might have something to add before if you have some questions, you ask us later. Thank you. Njabenga.
Thank you very much, the chairman of the ECOPACE Review Committee. I'd like to just give us a little breather here, and for us to know why we must use all the opportunities we have to support this type of document. And I want to take my thoughts from some level of comparisons. How many of us believe that engineering consulting or engineering practice is at the low part of the value chain? No, surely. We're actually at the top of it. When we take a comparison among professionals, first, for the medical profession, once they say someone is a consultant, you cannot see him free of charge. Whether you will be healed or not, whether you will come alive or not, you cannot see the consultant free of charge. You pay something they call consultation fee, and he will see you at his own time. So somehow there's value. But people say that when a doctor kills, when somebody dies, when a doctor makes a mistake, one person dies. But when an engineer makes a mistake, many people will be affected. So in the value chain, I believe engineers were right at the top. Now, we have a group of people called lawyers, and over time, they have claimed that they are learned because they went to school. And we are also a little bit learned because we also went to school. But what makes the difference between them and us is that they put their hand in every other person's profession to be able to take charge, while we just sit by and complain and complain and complain. When somebody becomes a senior advocate of Nigeria, he is not allowed by the legal law to travel anywhere on the behalf of his client by economy class. It's not allowed because he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and you pay for that. And put him in the best hotel wherever he goes because he has earned it over time. When you finish doing all your projects with all the consultants that you gather, with all the iron rod you have to buy, with all the sand and everything, when it's time for you to sell the house, then you call somebody called an estate surveyor. He gives the value of the house, he takes his 5%, whether the house is sold for 10 billion or for 1 billion. He doesn't need to go to the market. He just stands as an estate valuer with a certificate in his hand, and he collects his 5%, 100%. It's only engineering payment that everybody debates. Even engineers debate it among themselves. Even the engineers in government don't want the engineers outside to make money. It is only within the engineering sector. We are the enemies of ourselves within the engineering sector, unfortunately. So we have this EcoPace coming up. Kure now wants to take it up, and we are very sure that we have the backing of government for this. We'd like each and every one of us to support this, and let's see. If you see where they wrote 100,000 naira per hour, stop telling yourself, who dash monkey banana? You are not a monkey. 100,000 per hour is small money for the kind of input and value that we add. And this is what we need at this time. It's enough of us being beggars. We're the only ones that go to ministry and they negotiate our fee. We're the only ones. You want to get a job, they say you bring me 50%. It is assumed by them that we don't even have to do any work. Because when you present your drawings and it is 50 pages and your money is 5 million, then the client says, are you telling me that each page is 100,000? We have had enough of this. We want to move forward. We pray that each and every one of us will come along and let's get this battle going and let's be able to perfect it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Benga. Engineer Olumo Sharafadi, do you have some 2-3 minutes? Okay.
Thank you, my chairman. I think I will also want to quickly make 1 or 2 responses. One, we should hone our profession as engineers. No one else will develop our profession for us. In most cases, we are not proactive in what concerns us. Imagine even the questionnaire, we have very low responses. Up to date, we have about 173 out of the whole number of engineers we have. The more the merrier, and you know, the more the width of a sample or the data, it gives the credibility of that data. So please, I urge us all to please check. I've resent it now. We can respond. I can see many people are responding now, so that we will have all-inclusive data that will serve the purpose we intend. And perhaps one of what we have ahead also is to have stakeholders engagement. we will want us to be alert whenever this is coming so that we can have a robust discussion such that we can be able to get this document once and for all. And luckily, we have one of us at the helms of Ministry of Works. We are very hopeful that he will be of help when the time comes and the government will domicile this as a rate of charges. And when it comes to effect, I want us to prepare our mind that there will be sanctions. You don't negotiate low. That's the basic minimum. Perhaps you can even negotiate higher such that engineers will also be able to afford 5-star hotel, as my brother has said earlier. And what stops us also for a consulting engineers to also fly a business class. So with this, I want us to think about it and be prepared to have what we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Olumo Sharafuddin, as a member of this committee and the chairman of the subcommittee on engagement. We are rounding up, but it's fair enough for the MC to allow maybe some few questions, because some people might want to ask questions. What we are doing, something that they don't understand, then we can we take like 3 questions, or we have some comments? Okay, can we raise hands? Let's see. Okay, let me start with my elder brother here. Onberry engineer. Okay. I'm sure, sir, you can make do with 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I normally take more than that, so that my is an appeal to those of us in government. If you don't promote what is yours, nobody will help you to promote it. When in 2009, as a registrar of Koren, we wanted to move from Gwarimpa to the central area, and we got a place to buy. We negotiated, and we needed the agreement, signed a legal agreement. We had a lawyer with us in Koren, and she brought a fee of that agreement. I said, but you're here. Can't you do it? He said, no, they don't do this in-house. There must be a lawyer outside. We had to pay. This Zone 4. I bought the land and then developed it. We had to pay. When it comes to our engineers in the ministries, they're the ones that they will tell the Honorable Commissioner or the minister that, look, we can do this in-house. No, this is something we can do in-house. Just as I said, that kills the engineering profession. And they retire and come out to meet us. So mine is just an appeal. If you're not proud of what you have, nobody will help you to make it good. And as I said, when I said earlier, we still depend a great deal on government patronage. You in Lagos and in Abuja, you can go on with the private sector. But outside these two places, you still feel that you can go to government and do a job and then add value to that job. So my just an appeal that let us make our own engineering a good thing for the younger ones to imbibe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Fellow engineers, my name is Engineer Ibrahim Jelaushu from Multilinks Associates. I want to buttress what Engineer Jai said, and I have a personal experience with respect to fees for a government agency. It was a competition job. So I won. There was a redesign. So I did the redesign. That time there was no, they just said, according to the professional skill of fees. I applied EcoPeace 2014. And it now became an issue. up to today, have not been paid. The file was sent to Koren. Koren supported me. Sent to National Assembly, they supported me. But up to today, no payment. So after writing several letters, they called me for a meeting. They now use style. They said they will push it to the contractor's payment. Anytime the contractor is being paid, I will be paid. Up to now, it has not been paid. That is practical experience. So we need to support this document. I also want to set an agenda for the advocacy committee, which is what the lawyers have done with this SCUMO. SCUMO is a killjoy for consultants, whereas lawyers, they hide funds for politicians. They launder funds for politicians, but they are not affected. But you, by the time we start applying these EcoPays, it means our fees will start going up, and SCUMO will be waiting, while certain class of people are exempted. We are included.
Thank you. I think Engineer Abdurrahman here is here.
Thank you very much. Well, my name is Osman Abdurrahman from Makadogan Associates. My own is just a contribution to the question, yeah. Question 3 talks about comparing Nigeria with other developing countries. There is no empirical fact for us to compare whether we are any low or higher than other developing countries. So that question becomes very difficult for us to answer. Thank you.
Any? Okay. Engineer Saka?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for your presentation. There is something that I think we are missing out. You look at the procurement procedure, particularly for government institutions. Mostly these days, what they are doing is a procedure called quality and cost base. The approach of applying professional scale of fee is fading out gradually across the MDAs. So, company A and company B are bidding for the same job. These days, what they use is quality and cost base. If I decided to quote using scale of fee, definitely my fee is going to be too high. Even Engineer Bayadola, who just left here, notwithstanding, if I'm bidding alongside with him, if he's quoting a fee that is too high and is extremely too low, I'm going to win the bid, provided I qualify. Because, for example, if I score 60% and he's scoring 98%, my fee, if it is 5 million, and Engineer Bayodola here, even though he's more competent, maybe it is 30-story building, for example, and he put his fee at 50 million, they score him 20, they score me 20 points under financial, and they give him 1 point. No way he can win the bid. So we have a problem. For me, we have a serious problem on our hands. So please, how do you address this issue of quality and cost base? Thank you.
Okay, we still have someone there, Engineer Lola. So let's make it brief. The MC is...
Mr. Chairman, sir,
okay.
And, everybody, I still want to go back to what our elder, the former Korean registrar, said earlier. I think there is need to have a clear-cut definition between the regulators. When I say regulators this time around, I mean our colleagues in the ministry and we that we are practicing outside. There's a very, very big conflict coming up. And they tend not to realize it on time in as much as they are still in the agencies, until they now come and meet us in the field. That's the one major challenge. If you are a regulator, you do not be a consultant again. We hear every day of in-house drawings, in-house designs, and all those stuff. You are the one regulating this thing. Why will you be competing with us that are supposed to even come and make contributions to you? How do we survive? So that's my little contribution today. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the last one there. So, Engineer Rupai.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, my little contribution is I really appreciate your effort and whatever you are doing to make things work. Fine, but I think like we are missing the approach. Now, there's a document that has been legally, maybe, I don't know that it's legally, it was signed by ADISA, that's the scale of fee. It would have been, maybe it is not adequate for us now, because if you go to like Central Bank, all other agencies, that was the first document that they do. Maybe like from the beginning, Quran would have taken ownership of it, since it's an agency of Federal Ministry of Works. Then as time goes on, maybe increase the scale of fee. It would have been very easy, because if you go to any agency, anywhere you are doing consultancy, they accept that one. But the creation of another new will, that's in the new challenge, nobody's interested in this. But this one is agreed. Anywhere you go, if you use scale of fees, nobody will question it. But it would have been, well, from the Ministry of Works, let's take ownership of it. Then small by small, increase the graduation, the percentage, because it's a function of sliding this thing. That would have been easier for this thing. Once it is documented that this is the scale of fees has been reviewed by Federal Ministry of Works through Quran, it's easy. But once you introduce something, it's very high. Who will patronize you? I mean, it's very difficult. Then with this other one, maybe, I don't know, the other issue he raised, the issue of the World Bank, because all these cost-based are, because there's a lot of projects now by the World Bank. Most of the projects that are even going that people are got paid are from the World Bank. Then the committee should look at that. So how will this fit? Is it, or there's a cost-based, how will they fit with the scale of fee or whatever it is they are coming? But the starting of another thing is a very difficult thing. I'm telling you, it's good that people are making effort. I'm not discouraging you, continue. But it's very much easier if you approach it through. This is it's owned by the Ministry of Works, it has on it, and all government agencies, nobody would now use that scale of fee. Then try and improve the sliding scale. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for all the responses. And this the aim of this meeting today is to, please, I'm sorry, I will just say that any further comments, please, can we post it on the ACAN platform? Because we will not be able to finish. We still have AGM to go. But all I want to say, we are aware of challenges, and we, in our committee, I mean, there is a subcommittee on review, is also looking at the challenges of implementation and how to mitigate them. And most of these things you mentioned are part of what we are actually looking at. So, and the scale of fees of those days was accepted because it was accepted that time. And now, when the World Bank came with all their time-based issues, everybody turned to that one again. But what we are planning, at the end of the day, recommendations can come with even the scale of fees. What eventually was finalized at validation and what have you, that is what is going to go. Thank you very much for opportunity to talk to you. Okay, Mr. President wanted to speak. Okay.
Sorry, I think you need to understand one thing. Engineer Rufai raised a very fundamental question, because it's like we are not getting it. We need to clearly understand. And then maybe, I don't know if I missed, please pardon me. Did you talk about the lack of gazetting of the... So you see, it's not like we should go back to Federal Ministry of Works or to the CBN. The ECOPAS, Quran is established by law, and by the amendment in 2018, Quran is empowered to enforce any infraction on our regulations and laws. So that is where we are heading to. So we don't need to go back. Yeah, Koren is residing in Federal Ministry of Works, but for the scale of fees, all we are trying to do is to make sure that there is acceptability by the stakeholders. That was the study, the findings of the study. So if we establish that, and because we try to compare it with the lawyers, the accountants, the Chartered Institute of Taxations, it should have shown it to you. So their own is already gazetted. If you now go online, check it, is in the public domain, and it's anything gazetted officially is a law. So it's now, that is what we want to do. At the end of the review, the ECOWAS will be gazetted. Then that's in the domain of the public, it should going to be a law. Once it is a law, now it's left for the Korean, and by one of the things we're also going to do is that if you are familiar with the 2014, 2015, it was a range for man-months of the different categories. Now it will going to be like specified minimum chargeable man-month. So any consultant, depending on our class, like the issue raised by also Engineer Saka, so depending on the class of the consultant, the experience of the consultant, once the minimum is specified, no consultant will be, if you charge minimum, less than the minimum, it will be an infraction. Anything above, depending on your class, depending on the level of the experience, and now you can charge if you really comply with the minimum. So that is what we're going to do. So there's no need for us to go back to Federal Ministry of Works to get acceptability once the stakeholders, that is, and when we say the stakeholders, the MDS are involved, the practitioners, all of us are involved. So we're going to have the workshop when the work is completed, and then it will be deliberated, and then all inputs will be considered, and then finally a clean document will be produced and then ready for gazetting. And Korean will gazette it, and then all of us, all hands, will be joined to go and enforce it. And we will be there, God willing. That is what we will do. And we should not get confusion from the man-months and that of the sliding scale. Even the sliding scale, if you look at that table of 1996, part of the residency, charges is man-month. As of that 1999, the sliding scale only applies to the stage 1 and stage 2. So after stage 1 and stage 2, the stage 3, you calculate it based on one month. And even by that document of 1996, you're supposed to apply the inflation indices as the years changes from 1996. And that is what most of us do. So it's not different really from the sliding scale. So it's just a review, a revised version to, and the global base standard is not sliding scale, but it's the man-month. That is what all the development partners use. World Bank, African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, and we have to go by that. And that is what FIDIC, is encouraging. So that is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for capping it off. And as we said, the engagement will continue. Gradually, we'll all understand. But we are optimistic now that it's never going to be like before because of all the powers of the Koren, and we're becoming aware. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for Engineer Ibrahim Buga and the EcoPace team. Thank you very much. So the President will come and have that wonderful group picture with you now, and I will save these pictures very well. May I request that we bring up the awards now? The President will make some awards. After that, we shall move with the President, who would lead us to the exhibition booths, and then we continue to tea break from there. Let's have.
Thank you.
So may I invite Engineer Dr. Sam Otenaike, FNSE, to please step forward as he receives his award of appreciation for chairing a session yesterday.
Okay, I think this makeup we supposed to have given this award yesterday as the session was completed. Yep. So, on behalf of the ESCO, the council, and generality of our membership, I wish to present this award to Engineer Dr. Sam Otaineke, FNSC, FMSC, Principal Partner, Summerboard, and Association Limited. Congratulations.
May I invite also to receive our word of appreciation as panelist, Mrs. Buki Adubi, the MD of MyCom Cables and Wires.
This is it for, okay, as a panelist, okay. This side, they say. So she was also a panelist, I think, the first session or second session yesterday. First session yesterday. So Mrs. Buki Adubi, Managing Director, MyCom Cables, congratulations on behalf of ESCO, Council, and Generality of ACAN membership.
Congratulations. May I invite Engineer Tony Nwogbu to please step forward and receive his award, FNSC.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Tony Ovo also was a panelist, and then on behalf of Council of the Association for Consulting Engineering, I wish to present this token appreciation of plaque. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations. As we also invite Engineer Bola Olowe, FNSC, to please come forward and receive his award.
Oh, are you surprised? Why are you not a panelist? Yeah. You are a panelist yesterday. Okay. Okay. On behalf of the ESCO Council and members of ACAN, I wish to present this award to our panelists and Honorable Treasurer and the President Jabola Olowe. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. We also invite to receive his award Engineer Nuruddin Rafin Dadi, FNSC OFR, as he comes forward to receive his award of appreciation as panelist. A round of applause for him.
Just going in.
Our past president.
You are bringing good, what you know, sir. What a coincidence. Yes, coming at the right time. So, on behalf of the Council, I wish to present this award to our past president, Engineer Nuruddin Rafin Dadi, for serving us as a panelist in yesterday's session. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So, ladies and gentlemen, now the president of ACAN will lead every one of us to the exhibition booth, and thereafter we go for our tea break. We shall converge in 30 minutes. So by 12:30, we shall be back to continue with other activities. At that time, we shall be taking presentations from our sponsors. Thank you. The president will lead us to the exhibition booth. We shall convene back at 12:30. So please let us be quick as we take our tea break. 5-minute presentations each. May I now invite S.B. Zigalta to please come up and make their presentation. Can we please put our hands together for them? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to be here today. I am Hafsat Kosim, a sales and marketing executive of SB Zigalta Nigeria Limited, a trusted real estate firm and marketing company. SB Zigalta is a property development and construction company established to carry out both commercial and mixed-use real estate projects, as well as marketing services. Currently, we have a remarkable business project ongoing at Utako, opposite Chisco Transport, close to Utako Market, a major retail center and one of the fastest growing business hubs in the city. This project features premier shops and departmental stores, all designed in suit to provide a modern and convenient business environment. We have 96 spacious shops, each measuring 40 square meters, beautifully structured from ground floor up to the 4th floor, perfectly suited for supermarkets, pharmacies, boutiques, salons, and other thriving businesses. We also have a departmental stores, measuring 720 square meters, well structured from ground floor to the 4th floor. These large spaces are ideal for banks, superstores, fitness centers, and showrooms, offering great visibility and accessibility for high-end commercial activities. Our development offers excellent facilities, such as ample parking space, elevator services, good access road, ATM gallery, CCTV surveillance, dedicated transformer and standby generator, ensuring comfort and convenience for both business owners and customers. Whether you are looking to buy for self-use or to invest, SB Zigalta provides clean, accessible, and strategically located spaces that guarantee maximum visibility and business growth. For more information, please visit our website at www.sbzigalta.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SB Zigalta. You can also reach us at our site office at number 76 AE Ekakunem Street, near Chisco Transport, Utako, Abuja. You can also reach us at our head office, number 12 Okeaigbe Street, off Ladoke Akintola Boulevard, Gariki, Abuja. For more information, you can stop by our stand right here. Our teams are ready to help you find the perfect space that matches your business. Remember, your business deserves a good location, and SB Zigalta is here to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also, you can just follow her and go and buy whatever you want to buy. Right away, no time. That's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite Dan Nene Construction and Transportation. Are they here? Dan Nene Construction and Transportation. Okay, maybe they will join us later. Thank you very much. Can we please have some background music? I now invite to the podium the ACEN president to make and recognize the sponsors and partners as well. After that, we'll now take a recognition of the 2025 AGM Planning Committee. Let's put our hands together for our president as he comes up, and then we'll go through the sponsors one after the other. Thank you.
President, we are good. Okay. Okay. May I invite the MD of MyCom Cables and Wires, who had been our diamond partner for this 47th ACANT Annual General Meeting and Conference. Thank you. MyCom, unless for how many years now? For so many years now, consistently, she has been our diamond partner. So now I think if there's something beyond diamond. So we wish to appreciate you, wish to be grateful to you on behalf of the ESCO and the Council of the Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria. I wish to present this award as our diamond partner with 47th Annual General Meeting and Conference. Congratulations. Next, High-Tech Electric, another diamond partner.
High-Tech Electric.
On behalf of ACAN, I hereby present this award to you, High-Tech Electric, as diamond partner on the 47th Annual Conference and AGM. Congratulations.
May we request also to receive the Diamond Partner Award, 18th Engineering Company International Limited. 18th Engineering International Limited.
Nyambi Shetua will represent them to collect this award. EAC, that is 18 Engineering International Company Limited, as one of our diamond partner. So on behalf of Aken Council, I wish to present this award to 18 Engineering Company International Limited. Congratulations.
We invite Chint Power and Energy Services Limited, our platinum partners, to please step forward to receive their award.
Maybe BP, you continue. And then next after Treasurer. Let me not be it alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chint is here already.
Yeah. Okay, let him do it.
Chint Power and Energy Services Limited. Thank you very much.
Advanced Concrete Engineering Solutions Nigeria Limited, our gold partner. Please a round of applause for Advance as they come forward to take this award. While Advance is receiving their award, may we invite Dan Nene Construction and Transportation Services, Gold Partner. Next, we invite SB Zigalta to please step forward to receive their appreciation as silver partner. SB Zigalta. Next, Ma and More Engineering Services Limited.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Ma and More Engineering Services Limited, silver partner. Next, we invite to receive this recognition, corporate sponsor, The Pump House Limited. The Pump House Limited. Congratulations, Ma and Mo. Corporate sponsor, The Pump House Limited.
The Pump House. Thank you very much indeed for sponsorship.
We also invite to receive corporate sponsor award, Anchorbot Engineering Company Limited. Anchorbot Engineering Company Limited.
The big fish, Anchorbot. Thank you so much.
It's now time for your own. Which one? 2025 so I should call him.
Very good.
Thank you.
FC.
Thank you very much, our VP. Thank you, sir. All right. Once again, the president will have to come up again to recognize members of the 2025 Planning Committee of this conference and AGM. So let's put our hands together for the president of Aken as he comes to take on this function.
For the once of time, maybe, let me invite all the members led by the chairman, Engineer Dr. Sam Oteneke. So we can do it together. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Call the names.
The AGM Planning Committee is being chaired by Engineer Dr. Sam Otenaike, FNSE, and the following members: Engineer Gbenga Ajayi, FNSE, Engineer Femi Ebofin, FNSE, Engineer MB Shetima, FNSE, Engineer Olumo Sharafaddin, FNSE, Engineer Rahman Shitu, MNSE, Engineer Saka Hakim, FNSE, Engineer Abdullahi Mohammed, MNSE, Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNSE, Engineer Ibrahim Kau, MNSE, Engineer Jolayemi Oyinloye, MNSE, Engineer Olufunmilayo Kadri, FNSE.
Thank you very much. The Managing Director?
Oh, the Managing Director.
Yeah, she serves as the Secretary. So these are the winning team for this great event. Really, they've done very well. I think the audience will bear me witness, members will bear me witness that they have delivered the tasks we've given them, and they have, put in all they have to see that this event come to success. Please, can we applaud them, give them a round of applause. Probably I will ask the dignitaries and the escort to join us to give them a befitting photograph. Yeah. Yeah, the first row. Okay. Okay, we stay down. Okay. Yeah, Elawe. You stay up. You stay up. You stay up.
Please, let's put our hands together for them. Put your hands together for them, because we have not taken lunch. Clap for them. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can now have our seats. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to have something that is very significant and important. At yesterday's session, we were talking about mentorship and equally looking at the future for ACAN. And ACAN has the Future Leader Forum. We shall be taking that session now in 40 minutes. May I now, and the theme is the global impact of modern day infrastructure and a reflection about the current situation in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite, as we put our hands together, to welcome the president of the ACAN Future Leader Forum, Engineer Jolayemi Oyinloye, MNSE, M-Nice-Struct-E. A round of applause for him. You're welcome, sir.
The President, ACAN, President and Chairman in Council, Past President, Engineer Nuruddin Rafin Dadi, Vice President, ACAN, ESCO member and Council member. Permit me to recognize Engineer Segun Adetunji, the very first ACAN Future Leader President when it was still young professionals. Engineer Segun, you are welcome, sir. Also, I would like to recognize the presence of Engineer Ibrahim Buga, the very first Vice President of ACAN Future Leaders when it was still young professionals. I stand here today because I'm standing on the shoulders of these great people that have gone before me. My task this afternoon is very simple. I am just here to appreciate Aken for being forward-looking. There's a saying in my dialect that the festival that is done without the young ones is a festival that is about to go into extinction. And because Aken has realized that we are the future, they have given us a lot of support and collaboration to the extent that continually we have a forum at every AGM, and we don't take this for granted. Right before I introduce our chairperson for this session and the speaker, I want to sincerely appreciate our principal partners for allowing their people, their engineers, and please, can we have the future leaders upstanding? I would like you to be on your feet, all the young people, all the young engineers. This is very impressive. I remember about 2 years ago, we were in Abuja, and we barely had 5 future leaders in the conference. And we appealed then, and since then, we have received significant support in terms of sponsorship. Can we see how many future leaders we have here today? I am happy, I am grateful. Thank you very much. Having gotten, please, you can sit, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being a good ambassador of the future leaders, because it's because you are good ambassadors that you are being sponsored. All right, so having done that, I have the singular honor to bring up stage with me here the Vice President of the Future Leaders Forum, Engineer Chiamaka Olatunji, who is going to be the session chair for this, our noble session. You're welcome, man. Also, our guest speaker is a guest speaker, but he's actually one of us, and is an acclaimed international speaker. My own very good brother, Engineer Ibrahim Kawu, our Northern Region representative. Engineer Kawu, you're welcome. And I'm not joking by saying he's an international speaker. He just recently came back from FIDIC Africa, where he presented a brilliant paper, and it was acclaimed to be very good. You're welcome, sir. So ordinarily, my task would have been done by introducing them, but they sincerely asked me to stay with them on stage. So as I invite the Vice President to the podium, I will humbly have my seat with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Standing on existing protocol, I want to greet everybody and say that it's an honor, it's our privilege to welcome you to the Future Leaders session. It's never enough to say thank you for all the support. It's never enough to say thank you to all our mentors and all Aken members and Aken leaders that are ahead of us. We're watching you very closely, and we're very, very encouraged with your example. My name is Engineer Chiamaka Olatunji, and it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Engineer Ibrahim Abdulkadir Kawu, MNSC, FCCP, and MNICE. He'll be sharing on the global impact of modern day infrastructure and a reflection about the current situation in Nigeria. Engineer Ibrahim Kawu is a principal partner of ProXL and a Civil Engineers Limited, which he founded in 2014. So please join me and welcome Engineer Kawu.
the president of AKEN, Engineer Kamsalem Alhaji Bukar, FNSE, distinguished members of AKEN, distinguished guests, good afternoon all. I have the honor of presenting to you on behalf of the Future Leaders Forum of the Association of Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. The topic is a slight modification, highlights of the global impacts of modern-day infrastructure and a reflection of the current situation in Nigeria. The content of this presentation is partly an extract of the FLMC 2025 presentation at the Global Infrastructure Conference in Cape Town. For those of us who might not know, the FLMC is the acronym for Future Leaders Management Course, a certification course that is offered by AKEN for 6 months, after which there's an exam and there's a 2 days in-person workshop by FIDIC. This year it happened in Cape Town. So the picture of the young men and women on the slide are the alumni of 2025. Each time I see this picture, I have mixed feelings. On one side is the joy of the privilege of being part of the program. But on the other side is the loneliness as a Nigerian. We have participants from all over the world, Australia, Asia. From Ghana, we have up to 3 future leaders in attendance. From countries like Botswana, you have 2. But unfortunately, I was the only one from Nigeria. It gives me sadness. Another thing that gives me sadness is the tremendous sacrifice I had to make for myself to get myself to this course. Nevertheless, for anyone who wants to make progress, you leave sadness behind your back. So, you leave sadness behind your back. So just be happy. That's me, your presenter. And I have a new certification there, FCCP. How many of us are aware of this certification? What it means, FCCP? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, FCCP stands for FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional. You sit for a 4 hours exam to be issued that certification, and it lasts for 3 years, after which you will be re-examined for CPD and be reissued the license. So, on the topic, modern day infrastructure continuously empower nations and create opportunities for the much needed human development. But beyond these opportunities, modern day infrastructure takes proper account of practices that ensures sustainable development in our planet. What is sustainable development? We have heard a lot about it in the sessions yesterday. It is the development that satisfies economic needs, environmental needs, social needs. So if we look at that pie chart, where the 3 cycles overlap at the center is sustainable. The UN Brundtland Commission in 1987 defined sustainable development as that which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. But the one I love most is that of FIDIC, which says sustainable development is improving the quality of human life while living within the carrying capacity of supporting ecosystems. Let us examine practical projects, real-life projects. This is the Bajil Museum in Sharjah, Dubai. In this project, desert architecture was reimagined, looking into nature. It is called biomimetics. It was inspired by termite mound sit. It uses passive airflow to cool its interior. No need for air conditioning, no massive energy bills, just elegance, ancient wisdom applied with modern precision. And it all started by asking the question, what if we do this or that? And they succeeded with sincere action, not because they are perfect. Another project is the renaturalization Chongai Stream in South Korea. For decades, this stream was buried under a highway. You can see the first picture before 1972. It was a water course that was buried with highway structures. Until the early 2000s, the city made a bold decision to tear down, remove the highway completely, and restore the water course. Experts say that this was not an infrastructure project. It was an act of healing. Now the stream flows for up to 11 kilometers, during which it lowers urban temperatures, reduces air pollution, and brings back the much needed biodiversity. In the beginning, the project had a lot of challenges, panic from the public. But when engineers, ecologists, planners, and community leaders sat not to defend what had happened in the past, but to imagine a better future, they succeeded. And that is the second picture in 2024. You can see the stream. The list goes on and on. This is another small city in Japan with a little above 1,500 residents. They had a challenge of closure of their incinerator. And they took a bold decision to go zero waste. Zero waste. So all their waste is categorized into about 45 categories. And they pay a lot of attention educating and inspiring people who live there. So we can see sustainability is not about scale, it's about intention. Because of that, even the smallest places can lead the biggest changes. It's all about mindset. Another project is the Bosco Verticali in Italy. 2 towers rise above the city with over 20,000 trees, shrubs in its facade, transforming high-rise living into vertical ecosystem. Now, a collaboration between architects, botanists, engineers, and city planners with common will of making the building alive. Now, the building breathes. It cools itself, shelters birds, insects. Residents are living in a forest-like apartment up in the sky. There's another project in Seattle in USA is a net positive building, Bullitt Center. net positive in energy, net positive in water, no parking lot to encourage walking, cycling, and public transit. It harvests rains. What I'm sure we know what it means, net positive, right? Do we? It simply means that the building is producing more than it consumes. That's what it means. Imagine that. So, but here's the real story. It wasn't built by the government, neither by a tech giant. It was built by a small foundation with a big vision. They asked, what if a building could function like a forest? And they made it happen. I believe by now we'll have been inspired by what our counterparts are doing in other parts of the world. So let us now come back and re-examine the infrastructure situation in our dear country. This is a map by the World Bank in a paper titled The State of Infrastructure in Nigeria. If you look at the legend, the green line represents the railroad, the maybe orange, pink, and brown are the road type and condition, where orange color is good roads, the pink is fair, and the brown is poor, roads in poor condition. Now, if we look at the picture, if you see the way the spread of the colors on this map, it shows how dense our poorly conditioned roads are. Just that is enough message out of this picture. So, but Nigeria, the giant of Africa, what is your opinion? In my opinion, Nigeria is an embodiment of the world's best brains in engineering and technology. Yet, the institutional and governance systems denies them the ability to deliver quality infrastructure. And that is why we have issues. Building collapse, we all know about it. In a study published by the Journal of Construction Engineering and Management, between 1974 to 2010, Nigeria has experienced over 100 reported building collapses in with more than 1,000 deaths, most of which happened in Lagos. According to this study, 36% of these incidents were caused by poor construction. The issue of bad roads. According to a report by the National Bureau for Statistics in 2022, about 40% of the 200,000 kilometer length of road network around the country is paved. And a significant portion of these paved roads are in bad condition. Another report says that 70% of federal roads remain in poor, deplorable condition, with state and local government roads even worse. This has left the country with huge infrastructure funding gap, billions of naira, to bring the roads back to an acceptable standard condition. Nevertheless, between the do and no do situation for this project, we are losing more money by not investing in this project because of increased travel times, vehicle operation costs, accident costs, and other socio-economic setbacks. So many issues. Okay. This footage, with due respect to what happened by the collapse of the Alu Dam in Maiduguri, It has nothing to do with the point I'm trying to make here. It's just to visualize the vulnerability of communities at the downstream of any dam. You can see how much this community has been submerged, making life so difficult in this situation. So in an article by Priom Times, Dam Safety in Nigeria, a looming disaster. A significant number of Nigerian dams are in state of disrepair, posing looming disaster risk due to potential failures that could lead to widespread flooding. Many dams in Nigeria are in poor condition due to prolonged neglect, lack of routine maintenance, and uncompleted projects, posing significant flood risks and operational inefficiencies. Experts have warned that poorly managed dams are disasters waiting to happen. Now, let me remind us that as engineers, our duty is not to deliver projects. Our duty is to deliver progress. What actionable steps can ICANN take to lead the way to progress? This is our humble submission. Number one, business development. ICANN and its member firms must rebrand their operations and integrate business development into the core of their business models. At least we have been having some interesting discussion from yesterday about the new version of ICANN. Thank you, Engineer Benga Ajayi. So in that new version of ICANN, we should have business development units in our offices, and let that start from ICANN Secretariat itself. Let us have a business development unit. Let me be sitting in Kano, and the business development unit of ICANN should call me that, what are you doing? There is something happening around Kano, and what are you doing about it? They are concerned with our business, and they are professionals in it. Let that be incorporated in what we are doing in ICANN and our offices. Number two, uphold FIDIC golden principles. Now, ICANN must lead the way for member firms to implement quality, integrity, and sustainability management systems in practical terms. Enough of the theories have been done. What are the actionable things to achieve quality, to maintain integrity, to incorporate sustainability in your project? ICANN should be doing that. Again, ICANN member firms should be seen by the public as synonymous to quality. So let us set target of becoming ISO certified in the nearest future. Collaboration. I think ICANN needs to provide a platform for all member firms to collaborate as one single indigenous consortium that is big enough to compete with any foreign entity that is coming in to threaten, to hijack opportunities that are meant for us. Advocacy. Let us ensure that information about guidelines, engineering guidelines, standards are disseminated within the public domain so that patriotic citizens will become more aware of the correct path to desired outcomes for sustainable development. Let us reinvent ourselves by using the word trusted advisors as much as possible to replace the usual word consultants, as if we are begging for it. People feel like, do I even need to consult anybody? Let us portray ourselves as trusted advisors in most public discussions. Yes, last is to invest in the next generation. Aken and its member firms must be very deliberate about pairing next generation of engineers to become world-class innovators and engineering services providers until the entire African continent rely on the skills and competence of Aken future leaders for their CPD needs in the engineering consulting space. Finally, let us remind ourselves that we are capable of making great changes when we are united by a cause that is larger than our own selves. Solutions may seem overwhelming, but so also the challenges. No single action, no single person can solve everything. It is small, steady actions multiplied across all of us that add up to make transformational change. We must work together to develop our dear nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Engineer Ibrahim, for that insightful presentation. In 30 seconds, I'll just recap on the presentation, talking about modern-day infrastructure, looking globally, and coming back to focus on Nigeria. He also highlighted some very important points that we should take as action points for progress. He talked of business development, actually putting words to action, looking at ourselves as trusted advisors, and finally investing in the next generation. In the next few minutes that we have, we want to open the floor for questions, for contributions. When we have a presentation like this, we need feedback, especially from many, many years of experience before coming here. So please, if there's anybody who has questions for our speaker, we'll be taking them now. Please, our president.
Thank you very much indeed. To our own, you are called the president too, Abi? Sorry, vice president. So we are colleagues. Thank you very much for the talk. And I think we took a lot of good things out of it. I don't want to necessarily address, you said, I think, very nice, interesting things. But I just want us, because this is a young, the future leaders, I want to address some issues which maybe you guys can help out. Future leaders are absolutely essential. You mentioned it, that if we are not involved in the future leaders, we are heading towards extinction. But then the future leaders seem to be a moving target. Number one, the consistency now of even getting good, serious, professional leaders who actually believe in a little bit of sacrifice before they get there. So that it's not either I must have it today or I leave. So that's the first challenge of actually getting serious people who understand that the likes of some of those in the hall now They went through, it's so easy to see them where they are at this position now, but they went through a lot, and some are still even developing. So getting them is one thing. Retaining them is a big one. Half of them, even though they are sitting there, their minds are on Canada or anything else. So they will tell you, I'm going to do masters. Why are you going to do masters? You are getting very good experience here. It's true, sir. I mean, honestly, in 6 months, I never believed I would be doing this. But I think I should develop myself more and go and do masters. Masters in what? It can be masters in rice husk, in replacement of, it could be any master. I just want to do masters. Why? Because ultimately, it's leading you out there. You now do, and then you find your way of staying. So it provides a challenge. And I mean, it's not, I can't point it to the youth. I just have to point it to the whole system and what we've been discussing in the last 2 days, that the future is not very clear for the youth. And so they look at it and they say to themselves, even if my ogas are struggling and have not been able to enter 5-star hotel, then me that I am still 15 years, 20 years ahead, when will I enter it? So I can quite understand it, but I'd like to talk very frankly that if we are working towards the future of consulting engineering in this country, we have to do something that will retain the best. Retain them within the profession and retain them within the country. I don't mind hearing some going home because I know that some will come back. And sometimes when they come back, they're very good. So we need the cross-fertilization. But that's the problem now. It's difficult to see very serious young future leaders who are not being distracted by a whole set of things. So I'd like to hear a little bit about how this plays out for the future. And then the final question is, for me, and it's for the people in the hall here, if you are not mentoring, we are not providing the future. So I want to put it as a challenge that if in a week you are not contributing something like 2-3 hours of mentorship, it's not that you have to go and sit in front of the person, but whatever you're doing, you're making sure the person is aware of how you're doing it. You go for a meeting, the person is there. You write a report, you pass to the young and say, read this report. Do you understand why I've written it this way? If we're not doing that, we may not have a future beyond years from now. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Please, to manage time, because we want to stick to the time we have, we'll take all the questions and then answer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, the chair, as the vice president of the future leaders. I think my own is not really a question, but I still don't think I will be wasting time because we are talking with the future leaders, and I want to give some words of encouragement because I'm really impressed and inspired by what I've seen today. I know how far we've come in developing right from Young Professionals Forum to future leaders today. And I have seen the results even from the beginning. I still remember fondly that the new Aken logo you are seeing there, at the big A, as the roof to Aken, was designed and presented to Aken by young professionals. And I think at that time, it was done either by a committee or Engineer Brian Buga, I think Brian Buga is here, or a team led by him. And they took it, you can see it's just a very simplistic sign, but they spent time, weeks, probably months. They went to the extent of even developing the equation of the sine curve of each of the two arms of the logo. And today we have adopted it as our logo. We carry it internationally. That is a solid contribution that you can point to as an outcome of our effort to develop the Youth Forum. And Engineer Kule said it rightly, if you don't mentor, you're not going anywhere. And indeed, I can see, even from the three people sitting here, I can see the results of mentorship. And I can tell you the fact that we have personalities like this is a testament to the fact that all of us have at one time and different levels mentored some people around, and that is why we have this. And this is a sign that our future will be better than the past. And I think that is what everyone aspires to as a professional. I found myself taking notes because it suddenly occurs to me that this is a forum that I can learn a lot too, so I made some notes, at least to recap or to organize my thoughts on things that we already knew. And I want to encourage you and tell you that you are on the right track. I give probably 5 years, or do we say 6 years, 3 terms from here. These things would have outphased us. Some of us would be outphased from the professional practice. And that makes us happy. But what it means is that we are not phased out, but we always have the pleasure of coming to attend the professional forums here because the future leaders are going to be leading. And that leadership promises to be exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, there are 4 hands here, just these 4, and 2, please, 1 minute each. We have 30. Okay.
Thank you so much. Mine is not a question, it's just a comment and a commendation. I want to commend this set of young professionals, particularly for what has been displayed this afternoon. Engineer Rafindani spoke about many years ago as young, then I think we are called young professionals. I was one of those that benefited from discounted attendance at FIDIC at that time. And then you look at, over the years, that many of us have transited to the positions of leading ACEN, and then now you people are coming behind. So I want to encourage you along this line, keep it up. You have more advantages than we had at that time, so please make use of that advantage. And I also want to encourage us who are the elders, the employers, let's encourage our staff to participate in this young professional forum. And like Engineer Adebayo said, let's consistently mentor our people. In my office, I will write reports and I'll give it to my boys. Go and read this and let me have your comments. And now they're getting to a stage where independently they are writing reports that amazes me. So these are ways that we need to encourage our young professionals in our various services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Thank you very much, our future leaders. I just want to express my view. Much impressed with your presentations as future leaders. My is just a question to you. I don't know whether you are aware that the ACEN is also accepting memos in forms of advice. So your paper.
Please say it again.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What I'm saying, I don't know whether you are aware that the ACEN is also accepting memos, advice in form of memos. So
memos.
Yeah. Memos, memorandum. Yeah. So your paper is very timely, and it's reflecting also the theme of the conference, especially the breakthrough session, if you observe very clearly. So can't you make it in the form of memo and send it to Aken Secretariat? You have seen the impact of the young people, just as our first president, Rafin Dadi, has pointed out about the logo of Aken. So your presentation, if it's going to give to Aken as in form of memo or advice, it's going to be maybe reflected in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir. Yes, sir, after him.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll make it brief. In 2008, I think we were at Quebec, and the young professionals, as they were called then, they had the Young Professionals Forum, which I attended because I used to attend a lot then. And the discussion came to a conclusion that what the young professionals needed were not so much of remuneration as it was of challenges. That most of them in their offices were not being given challenges, so they don't feel like they belong because all their work were being supervised by different layers of people and all that. Well, let's look at where we are now, and let's use Nigeria as an example. The young professionals of now, based on your Future Leaders Forum, do they still agree with that? Do they still agree that remuneration is not the key? What is key are the challenges? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Please, sir, the gentleman in front. Thank you.
Thank you.
1 minute, please.
I'm so happy to have seen this today, but mine is an appeal to the seniors, not even the future leaders. Because you see, for someone to have sacrificed to this level, probably as a future leader, he needs the support from the firm. So for us to produce this kind of future leaders, we have to invest. And that is what is so important. There is a concept called talent management. And this concept is all encompassing about the issue of mentorship we're talking about, the issue of training, the issue of succession planning. So I am appealing to our leaders to look into these talent management practices and try to integrate it in their business development and corporate culture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Please, one last 30 seconds, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Engineer Yusuf from FEMAC Associates Limited. So from the presentation, we talked about sustainability. And my question, it ties towards sustainability. So most of the buildings we have today are concrete buildings in Nigeria, and they have high embodied carbon, high embodied energy, compared to buildings like timber that have low embodied carbon and low embodied energy. So these buildings, during the proposal stage, sometimes clients will say, no, I just want a concrete building. How do you fight it? How do you convince them to go for a more energy efficient material compared to concrete buildings? And coupled with the like of the kind of buildings that are coming up today, we have estates coming up everywhere. And those estates are just concrete buildings. So how do we fight it? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me start with the last question about sustainability, right? Although I'm not a sustainability expert, however, I will recommend that you don't fight when you want to win the heart of your client, but you have to apply a lot of wisdom in trying to convince the client to buy into what you are recommending as whatever sustainable solution that you may have. There are a lot of them. Even recently, FIDIC has released what they call the FIDIC playbook. It it kind of categorizes the type of infrastructure projects that we do, and it gives you practical ways of implementing sustainable practices right from throughout the life cycle of the project. There's something you can do in the direction of sustainability. However, clients see sustainability as expensive generally at the onset. So that is where you will have some resistance. But if you are able to communicate the life cycle savings properly to the client, if he's a really business-minded client, he could buy into your recommendation. So my answer is, you are not to fight it, you are to apply wisdom to achieve your goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, sir, please, we'll come immediately after.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So do we agree that giving young engineers a challenge over remuneration still applies now?
Okay, the question
30 seconds.
from Engineer Benga Ajayi. President, you want to address it? Okay.
Okay, so generally, I believe that any forward-looking young professional should embrace challenges before thinking about remuneration. From experience of most of us, we realized that, yes, the pay was not so good initially, but the blessing of the experience we got at the end of the day is starting to pay off. And anyone that starts with eyes on the money, eventually, when I talk to our colleagues, I tell them that you don't really have any business in consulting. The first thing is to get the experience, then the level of competency that you get over time translates to opportunities. In the last 5 years, I've had many people that tells me that, please, can you get somebody like you for me? So the challenge of that is you want a finished product. Somebody has invested in me for me to get to this level. And that's why, if there's anything I'm taking away from this conference, I so much love what Engineer Benga said. You bring in green engineers, you train them, and it's your contribution. Varson's concept trains minimum of 4 to 8 engineers from the universities every year. And we employ young engineers as well. They stay, they don't stay, it's a contribution to the industry. So, to bring it home, any reasonable and forward-looking engineer will embrace challenges before thinking about remuneration. And there's something I say that has helped me in my own life, is the blessing of a small firm. And the meaning of that is the kind of projects that came to me early in my career would not have come to me if I was in a bigger firm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. In our slang, the Japa syndrome, please, can we quickly address this?
Okay, I'm trying to recall this saying that an argument between a CEO and the CFO, who is asking the CEO, what happens when we train our personnel and they leave? And the CEO now asked, what happens when we don't train them and they stay? So I think we read between the lines.
Thank you so much. I think one of the questions also addressed our Vice President's question on young, serious engineers willing to sacrifice. So, like our future leader president has addressed it perfectly. Thank you so much. We have run out of time, and I'll hand over to our future leaders president to wrap up this session. Oh, sir, please, before we wrap up, can we have 30 seconds for it?
Thank you very much. I think future leaders are trying to pass a message to us to be time conscious and to respect time. Thank you. Let's celebrate them. I just wanted to address the question the gentleman asked. about using sustainable materials. I think it requires a lot of investment. Like Engineer Kawu answered, if you are to convince a client, it's not about fighting your client. It's about showing proof. If you want to do a life cycle cost, can you model what your sustainable building will look like? And to model it will involve using specialized softwares. You model what it will look like, and then what the traditional will look like. And then you do a cost analysis, cost-benefit analysis, which requires some form of investment because you have to have done the design, at least the conceptual designs, produce all of that. But are we ready to make that investment? So it's not about fighting your client. It's about you ready to make an investment to let him know the benefits that he or she stands to gain, which involves a lot of investment. So if we are ready to make that investment, no doubt, like I said, any cost-conscious and future-thinking client will take a look at the options, and I'm sure they will make the better option. Today, while we were having the exhibition, we got to AC stand, and they were demonstrating post-tensioning technology, concrete technology. And we asked them how much it will save. They said it will save 30 to 40% cost. And in terms of time, 50%. There is no client who will hear that instead of your building taking 2 years to build, it will take 1 year. And instead of spending 1 billion, it will cost me 600 million. That will not jump at it. But it involves some modeling. Thank you very much.
To drive it home, we want to thank you for the rapt attention, the full auditorium, and for the trust and the commendations that we have gotten. We are committed to doing more. And on this note, I want to end with a punchline that Engineer Kawu said. Our duty is not to develop projects, to deliver projects. Our duty is to deliver progress. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for them. Don't go. You are going to have a presidential photograph now to encourage you. May I please invite the president? Yes. May I invite the president to have a group photograph with them, and as he equally presents a plaque of appreciation to the speaker. All right. Mr. President, Otilo, say your own has passed. All right. Congratulations. Let's have this presentation.
Okay. This one is collecting a lot of awards. Are you not tired? This is the third one or second one? Okay. May I, on behalf of the Council for the Association of Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, present this award of recognition to Engineer Ibrahim Kawu, MNSC, your principal partner. Where are your young future leaders? He was also a future leader. So these future leaders member farm. Oh, wonderful. A round of applause. Because that's another feat, for a young future leader to have a whole farm. Congratulations. So I hereby present this award to serve as a speaker in this Future Leaders Forum. Congratulations.
So congratulations. Now, I want us to do something. All the young engineers here present, can you please stand up wherever you are? All the young engineers present, please stand up. And then what I want you people to do is very significant. You are going to say together in one voice, thank you, after the count of 3. Then you will clap very, very well. And who are you telling thank you and who are you clapping for? You are saying thank you and you are clapping your hands to our elders, our mentors, your leaders, so that in the end, they can return the favor of mentorship to you, the favor of training, and equally to hold your hands and lift you up. So after the count of 3, you are going to shout, thank you, and then you will clap. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. You can now have your seat. We have done our part, too. We are waiting for you. So please, it's very, very important. And everything they said here is you need to take it to heart. As young people, you cannot grow without that training, without that mentorship. If every one of us, even our leaders, will begin to recount how they became who they are today, you'll be very surprised. Sometimes young people just wake up and they want to be up there. No, you need to grow up so that when you grow up, you can be able to stay up. Whatever happens, you have a root. So please, that is very, very important. Every one of us have our stories along the line of mentorship. We must take that very, very seriously. And the truth of the matter is you can't pay for mentorship. It's not anything you can pay for. And I used to tell some young people, when you graduate from the university and you are out, for goodness sake, who is going to give you a job? Everybody has a contract. They want work to be done. So of what use are you to a firm or to a company at that time? You don't have any use. Why not go into for internship, work for free, learn, and you become useful? They don't even want to let you go. Because what? Everybody you see seated here is looking for somebody to give the mantle to. So get yourself prepared, and you will get that mantle, and you will continue. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. The conference, AGM, and dinner ceremony is nosediving, and at this time, we shall be taking the votes of thanks from the ACAN Vice President, our very distinguished and amiable Engineer Kunle Adebajo, F9/E, Chartered Engineer. Round of applause for him.
Thank you, Mr. MC. I realize I'm going to have to mentor you on how to call my name. So in 2 years' time, when this man calls my name, you think he's from my village. So distinguished engineers, when I looked at the time, I could be forgiven for thinking I'm maybe in US time, because, or is it the other way around, in Australian time? Because we seem to be a little bit behind. But anything worth doing is worth doing well. And I think, to be honest with you, we can be very proud that we have had a very good conference. We have certainly not found all the answers, but I think this is a very good start to put our fingers in the sand and say, look, it's about time we pick our profession and take our fate into our hands and start to do all that we must do. And why it brings me even greater joy is that this last session of the future leaders, it gladdens my heart that we do have a great future, and I believe that has been demonstrated. It's also been demonstrated by the fact that all of you have stayed up to this time. So I'm going to collectively thank everybody for their attendance, for their participation, even for what we know you are going to still do for Aken as we leave here. We still have the AGM, but I have to give the vote of thanks as we close this particular session and effectively the conference. So thank you very much indeed. Once again, I will thank the organizers. Honestly, it's been a hitch-free conference. It's just gone smoothly. But I know a lot of hard work went into making it so, and a lot of sacrifice. So we thank them. Please give them a round of applause. And I don't think it's any coincidence that a lot of the planning committees sitting around that table were described this morning as the rich ones, and because I believe it shows your discipline and your drive is very important in this profession. So, in thanking everyone, I do want to, because I'm not sure we'll have the chance in the AGM, I'd like to please ask our secretariat, Omolola, please round up all the members of the secretariat to please come forward. We want to really appreciate them. They've been the ones doing a lot of work in the background. At least for 1 or 2 of the nights, they hardly slept putting things together. Can you come forward, though? Please come forward. If not, we just clap and you go. Good. In fact, you can come. I would like you to come on the stage. Thank you very much. Where's Joan? Oh, yeah. There are still a few who remain in Lagos, but this is our staff. We are very proud of you because you have supported this last few days. I know it has not been easy. Some people will say, well, it's your job, but I don't think so. You've shown dedication, and we're hoping that you are going to show a lot more, continuing with the dedication. Our dear MD, well done. Our MD, for those of you who are still just meeting out for the first time, she has actually blended in so well that we actually think she has been MD now for about 6 or 7 years. So please give this team, wonderful team, a round of applause. Thank you very much. So on that note, I will ask the MC to tell us what remains to be done. But once again, thank you very, very much indeed. God bless you all.
Please, a round of applause for him, as we equally say thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, just a few announcements. The members of the Aken Future Leader Forum, please, after now, you just meet outside for a group photograph with the president. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very wonderful time with you from yesterday until now. I want to really thank you for yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. And can you display our online participants? Let's give them a special applause. Okay, they may be hearing us wherever they are. Put your hands together for them. They are wonderful people. Now, so lunch is ready. We shall now go to lunch. After lunch, we come back to continue with the annual general meeting of, members of ACEN will return for the annual general meeting. And then the MD of ACEN, Engineer Olufunmilayo Kadri, FNSE, will take over from there. Thank you all very much. Let's go and have a good lunch.
It just occurred to me that we did not thank this our wonderful MC as well. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Well done. I think you've just helped it to flow. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm an engineer. So lunch is ready. Okay, let's wait a little. Just pause. Let's get the lunch location for you. And just 1 minute, let's confirm where the lunch is set so that we can go and enjoy it. 1 minute.